Did humans live with dinosaurs? Well, the adventure continues. Now, Stan Taylor was a man that had a great interest in the area of the Paluxy River where these fossilized human footprints were found, along with many dinosaur footprints. Well, at first, there were only two human footprints discovered in that area, and he decided to excavate there. He decided to follow these tracks by removing tons of limestone so that they could discover any more fossilized footprints that might be present. In other words, he was removing one layer in order to see if these footprints, which were heading in a certain direction, continued on. Well, sure enough, the team discovered a number of other human tracks. Well, these tracks received the name the Taylor Trail. 7 more tracks were uncovered. 3-toed dinosaur tracks are also found crossing these tracks. Well, more excavation was done later, and even more of these very human-looking tracks were discovered. A total of 14 footprints that appeared to be completely human were discovered in this series of tracks. Well, this find has been one of the most controversial discoveries of all time, and, as mentioned earlier, is not accepted by many evolutionist scientists. Again, it does not fit their preconceived ideas that dinosaurs and humans did not live at the same time. But a human finger was also discovered in the same layer. Still, another fossil was discovered in the Paluxy River area, that of a human finger. After it had been carefully removed, it was later sectioned to reveal the porous bone structure like that of a human. Dr. Dale Peterson, MD, used a CAT scan and an MRI to identify joints, and he was able to see the evidence of the ligaments that ran through the finger. A number of other scientists have argued that this could not be the fossil of a human finger because it would be flattened by the weight of the rock that was above. Well, this is true in many cases, but in this case the argument is flawed. There are literally thousands of fossilized worms in this area that are not flattened. Worms would have a much greater tendency to flatten out than a finger would. Another remarkable print is that of a human hand. Now, this fossilized print was also discovered in Cretaceous rock, where there are dozens of dinosaur footprints. More footprints. Well, another human footprint was discovered by a Jeremy McDonald in 1987. This fossil was very well preserved. These footprints were discovered in Permian rock, that is early dinosaur period, which is supposed to be much earlier than those found in the Cretaceous time period. A more recent discovery of a fossilized footprint is that of a dinosaur crossing a human footprint with a part of the dinosaur print in the human one. This is referred to as the Delk print. Now, this fossil was examined and CT scanned as well with 800 x-rays to make sure that this was a genuine fossil. Well, this would mean that the compression points and all other aspects of the fossil would have to show that it was genuine. Well, the results seem to be very conclusive. Everything showed that it was the real thing. It could not have been a carving. Well, some still deny the authenticity of this fossil to this day, even though the evidence is quite convincing. There have also been quite a number of fossilized human footprints found in other parts of the U.S. as well as some other nations. The Paluxy River area is by no means the only area that these human footprints have been found where dinosaurs were supposed to have been. The hammer. A man named Max Hahn discovered a buried hammer in the Cretaceous layer. Once again, that's a dinosaur layer. The handle was petrified and the metal part had a very special coating that kept it from rusting. Incidentally, this is it's formed in a way that we can't even duplicate today unless we have very special conditions in a laboratory. Human artifacts. Human artifacts have been found in every layer of the earth. That includes even the Cambrian layer of rock where the supposedly simplest of life forms were supposed to have begun. Well, this would indicate that humans have been alive in every time period. So, is there another explanation? Is that the only possibilities, that humans have lived in every time period? Well, there is another possibility, but not well accepted over the last 150 years, although it was well accepted before that. Instead of humans living with dinosaurs in ages past, could it be possible that all life lived together on Earth during the last few thousand years? So, instead of humans living with dinosaurs, could it be they simply lived with us? We've already seen that the geological column, which is still regarded as a fact by a majority of scientists, is complete fiction. It does not exist anywhere in the world. Fossils must be buried quickly so that they can fossilize. Now, this idea is contrary to what we've been taught. But if it is not buried quickly, the creature would be eaten by scavengers or simply rotted away. We have been told that fossils were formed slowly and buried slowly, about a human's hair's width per year. Well, this would mean that some creatures would have to lay around for hundreds, sometimes thousands, or even millions of years without decaying or being eaten by scavengers. Now, this type of thing is certainly not common today. In fact, we do not find this kind of slow fossil formation at all today. Since the geological column is rather mixed up, that is, out of order, could it be possible that the layers of strata, that is the rock layers, were made quickly by a catastrophic event, like a gigantic flood? Well, that would seem to make sense because all of the layers with the fossils are formed with water. And this water formed the sedimentary rock that these fossils are found in. Now, there are literally dozens of historical and cultural accounts of this type of flood throughout the world, and literally dozens of different cultures. Actually, it's approaching almost 300 at this point. We have just begun to show the scientific evidence that shows that humans lived with dinosaurs. Well, there's also historical evidence. We have many more of these eye-opening facts. Please share this on Facebook below, and we're going to continue on with this subject: did humans live with dinosaurs? And we'll be looking at some more amazing facts that you will not have learned in school.